What is going on, everybody? Hope you're all having a good Monday. Bobby Fye, Eric Sheetsaber. We're going to be talking through this MLB 7-game slate, 7 games on both sites. We've got FanDuel and DraftKings, and I had kind of a funny weekend DFS-wise, I guess. I thought I was going to lose like a ton on golf, and then sure enough, somehow Sunday, everything came through, and I ended up actually I don't know if it's making money would be not a thing. It's like a couple $100 I probably made, but considering I thought I was going to lose like 10,000, it feels really good when that happens. Had a couple guys play well on Sunday, and had everybody else come back to the field with one of the wildest days ever. One of the wildest days in recent sports history. You got wild trades in the NBA. The Devers getting traded after they sweep the Yankees for the Red Sox. A lot of weird stuff going on. Sheets, how'd you do? And talk about your weekend.
I'll tell you who the big winner was in golf was my son. So we were watching. We went out for Father's Day, and we came back from Evans, and we still like an hour and a half to go, and Matt just fired some stuff. And after it was 100% clear that it was going to be a 2-horse race between Adam Scott and Sam Burns, okay, Matt got 150 to 1 on like Robert McIntyre, and then like 35 to 1 or something like that, 40 to 1 on Spawn. He had both of them. He had like 4 guys. And then when it got to the final 2, he actually cashed out of McIntyre for $1,900. This is like a $20 bets or something. He cashed out from McIntyre $1,900 and let Spawn ride.
That's sick.
Yeah, and got them all and got it all.
That's incredible. Yeah, that really is. That's awesome.
I sold Don't Cash Out. It's probably a terrible price, but he says no. It makes more sense doing it this way. So this is what it absolutely worked out perfectly. And literally everybody he needed to lose, everybody like quadruple bogeyed every hole in the last five holes. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was one of those, and I was like, oh, even like that's just crazy. Like I think that's awesome. I love it.
Spawn to actually drain that at the end. I mean, come on.
I mean, that was crazy. The whole thing was amazing. I was really happy for him. I mean, he had some of the most unlucky breaks you're ever going to see, So good for him. But like, it was a wild tournament. I wouldn't be very happy if I was Sam Burns today. I don't think.
Well, there are a lot of people. I mean, like everybody.
Although Sam Burns had the ruling thing on 15 with the lead, and he's hitting it out of a puddle. And they literally have given relief to every single player who's been in this situation or anywhere even close, and they wouldn't give it to him. And they had 2 rules officials because he complained after the first rules official, and they didn't let him hit it out of there, and he ended up making the I think it was a triple on that one or whatever, and that cost him the tournament. Sorry. So that was my spot. My reasoning.
Everybody had issues.
Everybody had issues, that's for sure. All right, Sheets, any overall thoughts before we jump into today's baseball slate?
To me, there are 2 very important questions that I would love to have the answer to, and we will get to them when we get to them. How's that for a teaser? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that it's interesting what's going to happen here. I'm interested to see how they play this. We'll talk about the Dodger game, I guess, in a little bit. I guess that's probably going to be part of the question. No?
Yeah, that's part of the question.
Okay. All right, I'll share my screen, and we are going to go game by game here and talk through this thing. All right, and we got the finals again tonight too, by the way, which I'll talk about a little bit.
That is true.
What a game on Friday. People I haven't heard from in a while were writing me just like, is this series not the most incredible thing? And I totally agree. I think if you like basketball, like you really just love the sport, it's so much better of a final. It's the best final since at least Golden State, Cleveland back in the day, and probably one of the best 4 or 5 in terms of intensity, the way it's being played. It's everybody sharing the ball. It's just really, really enjoyable, I feel like. All right, so we'll start it off here with Arizona. I'm sorry, Philadelphia in Miami, and Philadelphia. We got Alcantara and Abel. Sheets, are you getting too much in this game?
No, and I think that I think you might be right from your assessment a few weeks ago. Maybe Alcantara is just done.
it worries me, at least temporarily. Like, he definitely has not been the same for a while. He did pitch really well in his last outing, but it was against Pittsburgh, who kind of everybody pitches well against. I mean, I don't think I can go to it here today, but I probably will try to find a time to use him. He still like has a leash, and what are we having for strikeouts today? It's been rough. It's been really rough. It's got him at 4. Mick Abel, the prices makes it totally impossible to even be speculative on him, but he would be one that you could consider I think there's some upside for him here. Philadelphia is, I think, going to be really, really popular, and it actually looks like Miami might be a little bit owned as well. I'm okay with it, but I think there's places I'd rather attack. I don't think this is like a great spot. You have an 8.5 total. It's obviously not the ideal hitter's park. So if the ownership stays like this, I'm kind of content just to sort of move on and not really make this a major part of, as you would say, my portfolio for the evening.
Yeah, Phillies won Jesse all the money yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. Good for him. He won a bunch of things yesterday, I felt like.
Yeah, but he got first and second in the mega eights.
Yeah, that's pretty sick. I wonder how many he played in that. I always am curious.
I didn't know he played that big. I really didn't know.
I knew he plays them sometimes, but I thought he would play like one lineup. Maybe he plays 2, but maybe he played 10. I don't know what. Sometimes people do different things. All right, Colorado in Washington, and for what it's worth, it's pretty neutral. Like little 5-mile-an-hour winds blowing in from right. Nothing special there. Irvin is looking pretty popular because it's the Rockies. So when you have a fairly high-owned guy who's basically, he's pretty terrible. It's always just catches my attention. And then you've got Palmquist against the Nats team that I actually really like hitting wise. So what are you looking at here?
Yeah, I'd prefer to play Colorado than Irvin. I mean, that's for sure. That's my take on that. That's pretty much my analysis. You know what I mean? Like, I also have Washington as rated one of the top stacks on both DraftKings and FanDuel. When I sim it out right now, I'm not getting to too much of it though. I'm getting more Colorado than Washington based on the ownership, and I'm not playing freaking Jake Irvin at chalk. It just never happened.
Yeah, I might end up with like a sprinkle here or there just because there's like it is Colorado, but I kind of like the idea you mentioned about playing Colorado instead. And I like Washington, but I think they're going to be pretty well. Actually, the ownership doesn't look that out of control. So considering it's a 7-game slate, so I'm sort of in on both offenses here, and definitely will be below the field on Urban, whether I have to do it manually or not. I just feel, I mean, the thing that's tough, he's put up a couple ceiling games, but like he's had negative points, or he's had 1 point or less in 6 out of his last 8 starts. So for him to be a chalky pitcher against anybody, to be honest with you, probably not right. And by the way, Colorado's actually been hitting the ball a little bit better lately. So it is what it is.
Pretty funny line score yesterday. So a very chalky Grant Holmes scored like a million fantasy points.
Yeah.
In a game that they lost to Colorado 10-1.
Right.
Obviously because Holmes only made it through, 6 innings, and then Colorado got to the bullpen.
Yeah.
But he had 15
6 innings.
What?
He had 15 strikeouts in 6 innings.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yep.
That's ridiculous.
That's Colorado.
When you average 2.5 strikeouts per inning, that's for anything. That's crazy.
It's like,
I don't know if I've ever seen that. Somebody the other night had it. They struck out their first 8 in a row of the game. That was wild.
Wow.
Clark Schmidt and Jose Soriano, your Yankees against the Angels here. I guess I'll let you go first here. What do you like?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm going to the game tomorrow.
Nice.
Which is sort of amazing. I can't believe I'm going to a Yankee game where Clark Schmidt's not going to be pitching.
I feel like that you had it locked in. I know there must be a mistake. Watch, you'll get scratched and start tomorrow.
Yeah, no, or rain out tonight or something like that.
Yeah, something will happen.
So I do have, first of all, Clark Schmidt as one of the top 2 overall pitchers. Whenever I see him, I think he's like fine. You know what I mean? Like I'm not too particularly impressed. But then again, as you said, I have some serious like home anti-Yankee bias when I go into these games. But whenever I see him, I mean, he's got the little hitch in his wind up and whatever. He's fine, I guess. But anyway, on this slate, I do have him rated number 2, but I wouldn't be particularly upset if I didn't get to too much of him. I don't know. As far as the hitting goes, you got to be careful. I mean, Soriano, he keeps the ball in the ballpark. So if you want to go too crazy playing the Yankees, I don't know if that's such a good idea. So for me, I'm probably, I would say off of the game. I can't be off. It's a short slate. So I guess I'll have to have some Schmidt. I got this weird feeling he's supposed to play the Angels. I don't know why. But Schmidt, Angels, probably try to fade the Yankees if I can.
Yeah, so I think Schmidt, like I'm gonna have to play him. It's 7-game slate. There's not that many guys. The matchup makes sense and everything. Although I personally kind of like this Angels offense, but they do have plenty of strikeouts in there and all that. Am I nuts? Because I like Soriano. I don't know if people are like keeping up with it or whatever. He had a bad start. He'll be shaky, every now and then, but he's got a massive ceiling.
I didn't even know he struck people out.
Yeah, he did. I mean, he struck out 12 in his last start.
Okay.
He's in general, he hasn't had, but partly it's somewhat matchup based. He's had some, not high strikeout, and also they're trying to work with him on being more efficient as a pitcher. Like last year, he would just get wild a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He's been really good lately. And he is coming off like a season high of pitches, so maybe it's a little bit of the wrong spot against the Yankees. But it's not great hitting weather for Yankee Stadium wise. There's a little bit of wind blowing in. It's not as warm as it has been. It's obviously crazy humid because it's the summer.
Yeah.
But no one's really playing either offense, and it's a little bit of a 4-pronger for me. I think all parts of it are in play. If I had to pick the sides, I think I'll be overweight the Soriano, and I think I'll be underweight the Schmidt. But I think that overweight Soriano doesn't mean much. He's going to be 3 or 4% owned, and then both sides of the offenses I think are really totally viable. So talking out of both sides of my mouth, but hey, you just mentioned it with Colorado against Holmes in Atlanta yesterday. You can just because one thing looks good doesn't mean the other thing can't be good also, or can't make some sense. So I think all 4 sides of this make quite a lot of sense for this slate. All right, Pepio and Eflin in. Oh, this is interesting. I'm going to have a take on this one. Pepio and Eflin in Tampa Bay, which is the one game with like a little bit of weather concerns. Again, it's not really that serious, but maybe it could affect the pitchers, I guess. What do you like here, Sheets?
You got a little bit of the pitchers. That's pretty much it. I mean, I have Pepio like 25%, maybe like 15% Eflin or something like that. I'm not particularly thrilled with it. Short slate, I'm just getting to them. I'm not going to prioritize this. I guess if I had to say anything, maybe Pepio would be my favorite. And I'm not getting to the bats. But again, short slate, I feel like I should, but I'm just not right now.
Yeah, it is warm there. It's 84 degrees, and it seems like a spot. One thing is the thing about Pepio is that it's weird. He pitches to hard contact or he strikes you out. And by the way, I still believe in Pepio, and he's turning it around. He's really been much better his last 4 starts. Eflin, I was thinking about as being, and you sort of said I guess it's not as contrarian as I thought. I think Eflin is completely viable here. I think that this makes a lot of sense. I think the projection is a little too low from SaberSim. So I'm a little bit interested in both pitchers. If I had to pick a side for hitting, it would be Tampa Bay, but I don't have to. So not all that interested in the hitting, but definitely have interest in both pitchers and probably be overweight on both of them. So
to me, the real, I think the biggest question of the whole day is coming from this next game. The question of what they're going to do with Logan Gilbert. He's coming off the DL. He pitched 70 or whatever in his minor league start or his rehab start. And if I knew he was getting full run, he would be my top option by a decent amount. But I don't know the answer. That's why I wanted to ask you about it. Or does it even matter on a short slate? So that's I think the most important question that we could try to figure out. On the slate is or at least guess is what type of Logan Gilbert we're getting. If you tell me he's full go, I'm that's my top play by a lot. If not, then I don't know what to then I have to hedge or do something. That's that's what I want to ask you about.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I would look for this number here for SaberSim later today. My guess is that number lowers. I would find it really hard to believe they just let him throw 95 pitches to right after coming off the IL. However, when he does start, he basically always throws 95 pitches. So it's a little tricky. I don't know. I think we'll get a better sense of it later today. And I think you might even get somebody will probably ask the manager a question of how many pitches is Gilbert going to throw tonight. Now that may come after Locke though. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. It is weird. He's going to be the most popular and the Red Sox strike out a lot already. One thing I'd point out though, is that I think Logan Gilbert's awesome, but he wasn't quite as sharp earlier in the year. And you could say whatever. I don't know, just something to consider. I'm just trying to find different things to do. And speaking of different things to do, I think Giolito on the other side, if he could strike anybody out anymore, then it would make it a lot easier for me. But Seattle will strike out anyway. So I have a little bit of interest in Giolito, to be honest with you. And I also think the other side of it makes a lot of sense if you wanted to stack Seattle. So three-pronger for me, but I don't know what to do with Gilbert yet. But my guess is that that the projection score is going to be low. Or projection is going to end up lower. The number of pitches is going to be lower by the end of the day. And yeah, that's basically where I'm at.
What's the home run prop for like Cal Raleigh? Like even money? I mean,
yeah, it feels like it's all the time, right? I guess. Well, I mean, he's on one of his cool streaks. He hasn't homered in like 5 games, which is like out of this world.
You'd have to think Giolito's good for one of them. I mean,
yeah. This is weird though, because I just want to touch on the Devers thing. I don't know what's going on with Boston. Like, I understand they hate Devers. He's people think he's a terrible human being. Okay, that's a problem, I guess. But strange timing. Like you're on fire. You become one of the hottest teams in baseball. You just swept the Yankees, and to do it, I mean, you hit a home run that day because he doesn't want to play first or third. You could make him a DH and trade him in the offseason. I think maybe it's because his contract is they just don't want to pay the money. But this is a team that it feels like they could have gotten a little bit more than they got from San Francisco. Although I'm not out on Hicks or Harrison becoming good pitchers, but that just felt a little wild to me.
I don't mind it. I don't mind those things as much as a lot of people do.
Yeah, but you said the same thing when Mookie was traded. That was one of the worst trades of all time.
I get it. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Again, like it's running a business, and I hate to say it's not all about the wins and the losses. You know what I mean? I don't know if they're making more money doing it the way they're doing it. I'm just honestly not sure. I know that the Boston usually knows what they're doing.
They used to until that whole era, until they won all those titles, and they started doing things like trading Mookie Betts for nothing because they didn't want to pay him, and then trading your guy. Then for some reason, why are you signing the 10-year, $335 million deal with Devers if you don't want to pay it? Like you already had him for 4 years, you should know by then whether or not you want.
Yeah. I mean, and again, you've always been kind of like a Devers like whatever guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see him in San Francisco. By the way, I was watching the Dodger game last night, and then they were talking about, but all of these balls would have been home runs in San Francisco and all this. I'm like, not all things are created equal, by the way. And see how he does hitting. He's going to be 40-degree weather. You know what I mean?
You think Devers is going to made San Francisco sign a no pinch hit clause or something?
I don't know what the hell that was, but it's wild. And by the way, it is kind of getting a little top heavier in the way. I mean, as much as I always say Devers, I always felt he was a little overrated. I still think he's an all-star. Like I don't think I think he's one of the best 40 players in baseball. So
the two Red Sox guys, you had him and the Bogarts.
And I was right about Bogarts. Look at him in San Diego. What's he hitting? Like 220?
He's 3,200. That's like
when you play in Boston, it does mask a lot of things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's not like and David Ortiz would have been a very good hitter everywhere, but it's not like these fly balls you hit to left field that you get 20 doubles on a year that would be all outs in every other stadium. That doesn't happen for most teams. That wall changes everything. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So we digressed a little bit, but I like talking.
Let me ask you. I mean, before we leave this game, I mean, like, do you like Seattle at all?
Yeah, I do. I have Seattle as just a little bit below. Say a little bit, probably right around where the Yankees, and they're cheaper, so I might get to them. Except they're cheaper outside of Cal Raleigh, who you kind of want to play if you play Seattle. But I'm sure in the lottery I'll end up with some stuff.
I'm telling you, the Cal Raleigh home run prop, that's like the ultimate like square play that like if I looked it up, I'd probably just like bet it. You know what?
Yeah.
I wonder what is it like minus? What do you think it would be like 250?
Tonight it won't be as high, so probably 250. Because I think that when he faces a lefty, it always jumped up a lot. I knew that from the past. I think I remember watching one of Grant's things talking about that.
I'm gonna take a look and see. I mean, there's no way I'm gonna do it because it looks so freaking obvious. But I'm gonna look at it anyway. So batter props, home runs, Cal Raleigh, that's the Colorado game, Angels game. Can I go against Aaron Judge? Let's see. Aaron Judge is plus 380.
Why?
Because it's Soriano, I'm telling you.
That's why. Yeah, that's a lot of respect to give Soriano. Jesus.
Cal Raleigh's plus 255.
That's crazy. I don't even know. First of all, I really think that Aaron Judge at this point, if he's ever like plus 350 or higher, you kind of want to be betting it. Like,
right?
That seems like a kind of a wild thing. I don't really understand that. I know Soriano doesn't give up a lot of home runs, but
is he a righty?
Yeah.
Can I play Cody Bellinger at 700? You know.
I mean, I wouldn't be trying to pick out home runs against Soriano as a strategy, but yeah, I mean, 7-1, that's pretty legitimate. But yeah, I don't think I'd be trying to do it, but I get it. Like, anyway, well, now we have definitely the most interesting game to me, Houston and the A's. I'm never going to get it right. Never going to get the whole thing right. You're going to have a massive chalk on Houston, but not that much ownership on the A's. And they're playing in the same park. And let me just say this very clearly. We do not need to just assume that Lance McCullers is this super, look, he's always been the same. He can flash the upside, and he flashes just as much downside. It's 82 degrees with the wind blowing out, 10 miles an hour to left field. It feels like just the easiest game stack of all time. I don't have particular interest in McCullers, and there is upside for him. He did put up 21 against this A's team recently. He's cheap. That was I believe that was in Houston, a much worse hitter's park. I think this is a spot where I would like to take the A's at low ownership as one of my favorite priority teams, and I am not going to. I'll probably end up with some McCullers because I'm not going to X him out. But I am much more on the side of the A's and lowering McCullers' projection to where Goldie has it at that 15.5 range to try and get less of them. Because I think that there's upside in this matchup, but I think this is a spot where I really want the bats way more than anywhere. And I'm not going to play a 30% owned stack for Houston. So I'll probably X them out as 5-mans. And then the A's are going to be really a priority for me.
I would just encourage everybody just to rewind and just put my name on most of everything Bobby just said for this game. McCullers is going to look, pretty good. Usually keeps the ball down, but what if he doesn't? It's a 10 total, whatever it is. It's at Coors Light, so to speak. Hey, I made it funny. Coors Light, and I like the Oakland side too, and Houston's going to be the, most popular play on the slate. There's no reason to play it, honestly. I mean, there's a reason to play it, but there's no reason to play it in big GPPs. Pairing Gilbert and Schmidt together, or worse, like Gilbert and McCullers together,
Yeah.
And play, because you can get these guys all in pretty easily. Now, that doesn't mean I have to go play the Oakland pitcher, whoever that might be. But I pretty much agree with you.
Do you know when you play Houston tonight, in my opinion, if you want to play a full stack of Houston, it's when you see that Soriano has already put up 30 from your early games, and then you can switch over to the Houston in the late swap because you'll have time between that. This is a very good late swapping slate, by the way, I think, because these late games are very interesting and they're on multiple prongs of it.
All right, to me this is pretty easy.
What's happening here? First of all, I want to understand what's happening with it. Like, why does Saberson have it as a bullpen game when Ohtani's pitching?
Well, it says here, Kasparius is the projected long reliever.
So they're going to open Ohtani for 1 inning, is what we're saying now.
That looks like that's what DraftKings is implying. So first of all, to me, this is like,
I've heard that too, and I've heard the other way around. I'm just saying, like, I've heard both things, and they actually announced that last night, but then I heard a different thing right after the game. So, but again, I have too many Dodger people in my life, and you get a lot of speculation, so I'm not sure what's what.
So but for me, this is frighteningly easy. I mean, you have Dylan Cease coming off of like a lifetime, not lifetime, but a ceiling performance against these actual Dodgers, and good luck doing it twice in a row. That's my comment. So you get good Cease, you get bad Cease, and you get Cease coming off of that performance. I will be more than happy to take Los Angeles. As a matter of fact, with the Sims, even Los Angeles is my top owned stack, and I mean the Los Angeles National League, Los Angeles.
Oh, okay, I love this. We're going to be battling it out with each other.
Yeah, the Dodgers I have as my top stack, and then I actually don't mind the Padres either, as well. So I don't know what the weather's like there, but hopefully it's hot.
It's warm. Yeah, it's 75 degrees, so that's pretty warm for a night game in LA. And you've got wind blowing out to center, 10 miles an hour, pretty solid. It looks like good hitting weather. It's got a nice 9 total. The Dodgers, like, just to show you how Vegas is sharp or whatever. We'll see what happens tonight. But like, the Dodgers have a 5-run total against a guy who just completely wiped the floor with them. You know what I mean? But as I've mentioned, they've hit C's extremely well historically, and I think that that's the right thing to do, is to play the low-owned Dodgers here. Why this run total is like, I was still shocked to see the run total. I was like, wait a minute, they're really giving them a full 5, huh? Against C's. That's what they've got. So I'm in on it. I'm in on the Dodgers. I'm in on the top to bottom. Again, a reasonable amount of history. Guys like Freddie Freeman have killed him. I think Conforto's got a decent history against him. I know Mookie Betts has got a good history against him. I really like the Dodgers, and I think that there's going to be a little extra buzz going on in that stadium with Ohtani getting on the mound, and then San Diego being in town is obviously always going straight from the by the way, very peaceful protest. I want everybody to understand that from the protest to the Padres coming to town. There could be a little bit of tension in the air at Dodger Stadium. I love I'm just sort of messing around, but I do love the Dodgers tonight. And again, it's a 7-game slate. It's smaller. I like stacking against C's last time. It didn't work out. I'm happy to go right back to it again. And I also agree with you that San Diego is in play. Just, you're going to have to just deal with a bunch of that 1-inning stuff if things go the way that they're saying it's going to go. So it's not maybe the most desirable situation, but certainly in play. So to round things out for me, I have Schmidt and Gilbert are the logical cash game guys. Now, the guys who I like instead of them, again, they're not the most fun names in the world, but I have some of the Giolito, Pepio, Eflin, and Soriano. I am not going to get to much Dylan Cease tonight. Maybe I will in a little bit in the lottery, but not much. I'm not going to get to McCullers and Irvin much. So I'm probably going to end up overweight these kind of suboptimal plays, and so much so to where I might actually consider throwing Alcantara into a lineup, because I don't really know who else I'm supposed to play. And I do have a stance that McCullers and Irvin seem like bad chalk. Do I just to take all that ownership and put it all towards Gilbert and Schmidt? Probably not. I think I'd like to spread it out a little bit. So that's where I'm at with that. And then Washington, the A's, the Dodgers. I do like Houston. I just don't like the 5-man version of it. Seattle's kind of interesting. So I'm still sort of debating, but that's sort of what I had for this as of right now.
Couple of more things about Cease. Now, again, I don't know if this means anything, or I don't think I've ever seen this. I mean, maybe I have. So in Cease's game against the Dodgers, he put 7 innings pitched. Let's just presume that he faced 21. He didn't go against anybody in the 8th. He had 11 strikeouts and he had 5 walks. I mean, only like 5 Dodgers put the ball in play. It's like pretty
so weird.
It's pretty funny. You know?
That's really,
but
that's really weird.
But I will say this: if you sign me up for Dylan Cease having 5 walks, I'm down with whoever. So how does he even stay in the game that long? It's 5 walks and 11 strikeouts. That's already like a minimum of like 80 pitches right there. You know, I mean, that's pretty funny. I'm currently getting the Dodgers my top one, and the second one. Now again, this is like stupid, but have Boston second just because that's the way it is with Sabres sometimes. I also do seem to recall like a game or two of Logan Gilbert being chalk and the Red Sox destroying him. I don't remember.
Oh, yeah, that's possible. I don't know. That's definitely possible.
I don't know. But again, different Red Sox with no Devers.
Yeah, it is. But at the same time, I would argue that the guy who's going to be their best hitter for the next 10 years is now in the lineup, although he has not been doing much so far. But
the Roman guy?
Yeah, I'm 100% sold on this guy being a stud. Like, I really think he's going to be good. So they're not like bad, but it is kind of a weak looking. It's weird how just to take one guy out and does the lineup all of a sudden. I'm like, oh my god! So I've got these guys who were hitting 8th and 9th. Abraham Toro is hitting 2nd, and I mean, he's been betting 3rd lately because of other guys being out. It's not an intimidating looking lineup. I'll put it that way, and they all strike out too. They'll probably strike out less now with Devers gone, but also obviously less power upside.
Well, I mean, you mentioned Alcantara. I mean, there's also obvious variations where Alcantara is in fact done, and the Phillies should put another 10 ball up. I mean, like that's
possible.
That's possible too. I don't know. Listen, for a 7-game slate, seems to be a lot of choices here. But right now, Dodgers, Red Sox, Colorado, and then the Angels are my fourth highest.
I like that Angels idea a little bit. I can sort of sell myself a story on that one.
I mean, you got Neto, Ohape. I mean, Adele, Trouts. You know what I mean? Like these are dudes that can do some stuff.
Yeah, it's like make it an all LA night, and maybe good things will happen. We'll see.
That's it.
All right, guys. Well, good luck. We'll be live at 5:30. A reminder: the slate locks at 6:40 Eastern tonight. So make sure that you're ready for that. And Sheets, anything else?
Yeah, no. I was going to finish up with you could throw even another California, play the Athletics too. You go Athletics, Dodgers, Angels, and like all three California teams. You have various levels of chalk. Actually, I mean, is anybody playing the Dodgers or no?
No.
So you have three West Coast non-chalk teams on a short slate, and I think that's I think if I get that, I'm not upset about it. Right now, that's what I have. I have like Dodgers, Angels, and I don't have Oakland or the Athletic. Yeah, actually, I have 10%. So if all I have to do is not be stubborn, like just take out these like anti-Logan Gilbert stacks and these anti. I don't
think you have to do that. I think those. I mean, there's not. It's a fairly small slate, and I don't think that it's like that bad of an idea to take a shot against the guy coming off the DL ever. Like
it's it's an immaculate inning slate, by the way. The one is tonight, so that's good. And also, I have a ticket into this mega qualifier for the live final. I have a $3,200 ticket. So I'm going to be playing that thing. I got to figure out what to do. That one, and the funny thing is I'm not the slightest bit concerned about how to play that. In other words, like if I guess I'm supposed to play Gilbert and something like that. Aside from that, I mean, I don't need to play the Astros. I don't know.
No. How many players is it, you say?
It's like 67, and they play 4 seats or something.
Yeah. You can go a lot more cash like if you want to in that. And by the way, you also really, I know you're going to end up stacking, but you really don't need to stack in those.
Probably not, right?
On a 7-game slate, especially.
Yeah.
If it was 11 or 12, maybe you'd want to lean that way, but I don't. I mean, you could. You just don't have to. That's all I'm saying. I mean, Sabres might not even do it for you. They might. By the way, they've been doing some fun with the late swap sheets. They get a little saucy with it. I've seen a lot of them forced in the 3-2s and things like that are a little funky because if you have the right parts early on, they will play the optimal guys for you sometimes.
What's Altuve? Is he under 5K? Probably, right?
I think everybody on that team is probably, aren't they? Yeah,
maybe.
Altuve.
Muncy 4,200, Ohtani 63. Oh, so if you play Ohtani, you don't get pitching stats? That's the story?
Yeah, there's no pitching for Ohtani on DraftKings, which won't matter on FanDuel anyway. And I haven't really looked at much with FanDuel yet. I just loaded my lineups. I hadn't even built anything, but I will just throw out real quick a couple things. One, just a reminder, it's always easier to cram in what you want over here. I would I use this quality start thing a lot. They're giving, I mean, I don't know about these pitches. I would bet you later today, Saberson has this around like 88 or 87. I know that doesn't sound like much, but it will lower the quality start chances quite a bit. This is a weird one. It's, I mean, look, you've got Alcantara, the fourth most likely to have a quality start tonight, and no one's going to play him because he's been terrible. But it's just kind of funny that we say all these things about him, but then you look at him and he's fourth most likely to have a quality start. Pitching is going to be tough over there because it's going to be all Gilbert. If you could just play the Gilbert and Schmidt, but if you want to do anybody else, it's going to be pretty much off the board, with the exception of McCullers. Everybody else is just going to be like nothing. And I might take a shot with my Soriano idea here. We'll see what happens. All right. Good luck to everybody, and we'll see you live at 5:30.